those kind words, and more importantly, thank you for your support. I cannot even put into words how thrilled we are to be able to get this grant. We're one of only 2 nonprofits in the state of Indiana that received this grant from the Department of Labor. It's our first time. The one in Indianapolis has been doing it for 10 years. So I think if we do our job right, there's a lot of funding to come down the pike for us in the future. Once again, this couldn't have worked without, and I have to say special thanks to my grant writer, Amy Bullock, who without her and her many hours of pushing and prodding was able to help me put together this mammoth grant to get this funding. So kudos to you. I want to most importantly say that these grants and things don't happen without partnerships. And one of the most important partnerships that we have been able to foster today is with the Marion VA Center through the Evansville campus. They're very graciously going to donate office space for us, a high-tech computer lab that we can use to help retool the job skills, education, resume building, employment coaching, all of the skills and tools that are necessary to help these guys and gals get jobs. It's going to be office space, all furniture. It's a wonderful partnership. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Thanks to everyone from the VA for helping out. I'd like to thank some specific people who came today. And if you could, in the front row here, we have 3 people who came from Indianapolis with the VA Voc Rehab. Mr. Mike Busher, who is the coordinator or the director, Rachel Duran, who will be handling the Voc Rehab piece, and Marion Clinksdale, who is the Homeless Outreach Coordinator. And so they're on board, as well as our local Voc Rehab, to help us with those veterans who need that particular piece of retooling. Then I have to thank the VA Marion Medical Campus or Center. Susan Shelton is here. She is representing the director. She is the Chief of Social Work Services. And so once again, it's a partnership that we recognize we couldn't live without. And Dr. Robin Sanabria, who's been our champion here, she's the clinical manager for behavioral medicine. Without her, we wouldn't have known about the office space. The relationships that we forged, it's a pipeline for us to be where all of the services for veterans are located, so that we can get the services for our veterans that come through the door, and also veterans that come through their door can come and access our services. I will throw a little something out that probably most people don't know. When you think about the homeless population, it's a lot larger than you would know, and HUD has changed the definition of who we can consider homeless. So we're going to see the numbers rise. It used to be you had to be coming from a shelter or be on the streets, but now you can be doubled up, you can be in danger of losing your home, being evicted. So we're going to see a lot more people that are going to be eligible for these services because they have to be homeless veterans. So I think that that's a good thing, that we're going to be able to put people back into jobs in the community. We're committed to putting 48 people back in employment. Now we're going to assess a whole lot more than that. And those 48 people, we aren't just going to get them jobs. We're going to follow them for 9 months. We're going to make sure they stay employed. We're going to help them secure transportation, and we're going to find them housing. And that's where ECHO, I think, comes in with our piece, is because we already have our homeless veteran housing. We also have relationships with all the landlords in the city. We lease from many landlords for some of our other permanent supportive housing programs. So we offer that additional supportive service piece that not only will follow for 9 months on their jobs, but we're going to follow up the 9 months on their housing, make sure they're paying their bills, and that type of thing. So we're really, truly going to reintegrate these folks back into a productive and meaningful employment in society. I'm excited that as many companies and industries are on board with us and recognize the needs. We're hoping that many more will step forward and dedicate spaces to these people, because it's not enough for us to just retool what they do. We've got to know we've got a place to place them. And so that's what we're counting on corporations to help us with on-the-job training, with local service providers, Work One, Shoe Carnival, all of these people to come forward and say, and they don't just have to be entry-level jobs. You know, we're going to see guys and gals that have got college degrees, associate's degrees, trades, skilled trades. They just haven't been able to find work. So it's a great project, and I think it bodes well for Evansville. But I'll close on one note. The number of homeless Vietnam veterans in the United States exceeds the number of casualties of the Vietnam War. So with that, to put into perspective what war and service can do to individuals, veterans have unique situations, unique problems, and a program that is strictly dovetailed to work to those needs and speak to those needs is just bound to be successful. So now I'd like to introduce Mr. Darrell Garman, who is going to be the program director, and he can give you more specifics on how the program will really retool and what we're going to do and how we're going to work. And then if you've got any questions, you can direct them to him because he's the nuts and bolts.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I really would like to thank Mayor Winnicky for coming down here and participating in this and giving us his support. I greatly appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody else for attending today also. As a United States Air Force veteran, I am deeply honored to be able to accept this position and work with our homeless population here in the Vandenberg County area. Vandenberg is our largest county in this service area. We currently have a population of approximately 1,017 individuals from age 18 up. At any given time in this area, you will find there are at least 50 homeless veterans on the street searching for housing, searching for employment. With the HRV program, we hope we can make a dent in this and help these individuals retool their skills and enter the employment within our counties. HRVP is going to be serving participants not only from the Vandenberg County area, but also from the outland counties, also Warwick, Posey, and Gibson County. I really want to thank the VA Marion for giving us this opportunity to be stationed here at the Evansville campus so that we are going to have greater access to all veterans who come into this facility and need our help. Okay? Again, thank you very, very much for this opportunity. I greatly appreciate it.
Question?
What is the intake system for a veteran? If I'm a homeless veteran, I hear about this or read about this, what do I do to get into the system?
Okay, first and foremost, you would just need to come into our office. We will sit down, we will do an assessment, we'll find out what your needs and barriers are. We will address the needs and barriers. Not only are we going to do that, we're going to take it a step further. If you need to be referred to another service provider, we're going to take action and we're going to refer you and we're going to follow you along as you go to that service provider to make sure that you are receiving what you need. And then after that part goes by, if you are eligible for this program, we're going to go ahead and enroll you. We're going to get you into housing and we're going to retool your skills to get you into employment. And then we're going to follow you for approximately 3 quarters to make sure that everything is being met that you need to be met in order to sustain that employment.
Besides the media, how do you plan to get the word out to those homeless veterans who may not, have TVs or buy newspapers?
Well, the HRV program is also going to do outreach. I'm hoping to partner with a couple of service providers here in the community to actually do outreach in the streets, wherever the need is, to get that message out to these individuals. And also, if they don't have transportation, we're going to try to arrange their transportation to get them back and forth where they need to go.
How much was the grant?
The grant itself was for $130,000 annually, and that's for a 3-year basis. Any questions?
Is there any other program, nearby that kind of does what this does, or is this entirely new?
Well, actually, the HVRP focuses strictly on the homeless veterans. There are some wonderful programs within the state at the Work One agencies, which we do call them leavers. They are the local veteran representatives for the state. We also have DVOPs, which are the Disabled Veteran Outreach Program coordinators. They're also to work with disabled veterans. And our hopes is to work very closely with them in our task to gaining employment for the homeless veterans.
Darrell, how quickly do you see veterans starting to take advantage of this program?
I'm really hoping once it is made aware to them that they come forward and ask for the help. A lot of people do not want to ask for help. They're embarrassed of their situation. They're a little humiliated by it. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. Anything can happen to anybody at any given time. So we want to help them arise to the occasion to you know, get back into the community and be part of our community, which they are.
Who are some of those employer partners that you already have committed?
First and foremost, I'm proud to say we are going to be working with the Work One agencies around the counties here, especially in Evansville with the Levers and the DBOBs. We're going to be working with all the employers, Shoe Carnival, PPG. There's numerous ones that we're still working on partnerships with, and hopefully it's going to grow. And I really want to invite the community, you know, to partner with us, because in order to end the homelessness, we really have to engage the community. Not one single entity can really, you know, attack this situation.
And Jared, I might throw something in on that. One of the things the city has done is we've reached out to the Human Resources Association of Evansville and asked them to reach out to their companies that they represent to make sure they're aware of this program. So we're doing the city's doing all they can to help raise awareness through the employment basis.
And can you, either of you, talk about some of the benefits, you know, besides helping men and women who serve our country? What are some of the benefits for them, you know, becoming partners with you guys?
Some of the benefits for them is they're going to get an employee that is willing to work, willing to show up to work, willing to, you know, accept the challenges of growth within that organization. They're also going to receive the benefit of having us work with the individual too to address some of their barriers, such as transportation, you know, our medical appointment, anything that really needs to be addressed. We're going to work with the employers and the individual themselves to make sure that these things are addressed.
Is this exclusively for Vandenberg County veterans, or does it reach out beyond that?
No, sir, it's not exclusively for Vandenberg. It's going to be for the surrounding areas also. Okay. So we're going to count Posey, Warwick, Spencer, Perry, Gibson. If there's a homeless veteran in one of the counties, we're going to help them.
Given the current situation, how important is it to have a program like this in place?
I think it's very important. There's only been one program in the state of Indiana for the last 10 years, and that has been based out of Indianapolis. As you know, our homeless population is very large down here in the southern region, and the needs for having a service provider that addresses the needs of the homeless veterans directly, we have not had. We have a lot of service providers out here that offer a lot of wonderful benefits if you use them, but we've never had one that directly focused on homeless veterans as a whole.
And what are some of the recent trends as it relates to homeless veterans? Is it getting worse, or has it been stable over the past decade? What do you know?
Well, actually, what they call now are the 9/11s. Anybody who has gotten out of the service following September 9th, or 2001, it's grown greater and greater due to a lot of behavioral issues, due to psychological issues from the war. With all the 9/11 vets coming back, they're finding it a lot harder, you know, to integrate into the community and transfer their skills from that side over to this side. It's a lot different for them, and they do need the assistance. So the homeless population has really grown greater and greater as the years go by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I might add just one thing, just so you know, that it usually took a Vietnam, they're saying in the statistics, that a Vietnam veterans would take about 10 years to cycle into homelessness. And these young guys now, we're seeing homelessness as quickly as 18 months. Repeated deployment, longer deployment, just a lot of issues. Traumatic brain injury, things that didn't even really have before. So it's going to do nothing but escalate. The veterans, not just homeless in general. But we also have a web page, and we're going to have a page, when you were talking about outreach, we'll have a whole page on that web page strictly for this program. And ECHO has MOUs with every homeless service provider in the city of Evansville. So I don't think we'll have any issues getting the folks in. And since we already have our homeless veteran housing, we're on many of the homeless veterans' radar lists anyway. So.
Thank you.